called an insurance company called ICA, and I think she'll be telling us more about. I didn't want to go in the detail of the Lion of the Word. She'll tell us more about that. But she's such a powerful woman. She's all the way from Kanungu, actually. For ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Madame Sharoni Biereta. For her, she has a way she pronounces her name, but for us, the Bachiga will call it Biereta. You're welcome, Madame Sharon, on the Holy Drive Show.
Thank you, Jimmy. I'm happy to be here, and yeah,
so is it Bieret or Biereta?
It's Biereta. Biereta.
You see now, like now I'm called that Jimmy, but when I'm pronouncing, I say I'm called Jimmy. Akanshemeza. So I wanted to be sure. Are we using the American accent?
No accent. It's Biereta. If you put it in Ruchiga, it's Biereta.
Wow, it's a pleasure having you on the Holy Drive Show.
It's a pleasure being here.
All the way from Kanungu.
Yes.
It begins from Kanungu.
Yes. I'm proud to be from Kanungu. To be specific, Kambuga. If you know the stage that they call Ebitakuli, that is where my roots are.
Wow. Before you go to Kanungu, introduce yourself. I've tried, but I think you have more to that.
So my name is Sharon Biereta. I work with ICEA Lion Life as the Deputy Manager Operations. But Jimmy, like you said, my roots starts way back in Kanungu, some very many years ago. I have grown through the ranks. I came from Kanungu at quite a young age. I started my education, again, the foundation is from that side. Then at a young age, around primary 5, I came to Kampala. So I have been hustling through Kampala, and I'm here. I've not gone back to Kanungu because my motto is always, I have to make it in Kampala so that I don't find myself back in Kanungu. Yes.
How was it growing up from the hills of Kanungu? I can imagine that coldness, the mountains. Did you even ever imagine you'd ever reach Kampala?
Actually, Kanungu is not so cold as Kavare, so the weather is a bit more favorable. I had hopes of reaching Kampala because we had the pleasure of having our father work in Kampala. So every time he'd come from Kampala during Christmas, you'd wonder what happens that side. Yes, he shops for us. You wonder what happens this side. So you'd be looking forward to when you board the bus for the first time to come to Kampala. So again, there's some light somewhere that you would eventually make it to Kampala.
Many girls from such places end up messing up themselves at a very early age. How did you keep yourself?
My mother was a very tough woman. She was well known around the village, and they used to call her Mrs. because they were born so many girls. So the village mates knew that you don't mess with Mrs.'s daughters. And also because I'm the youngest of my siblings, it became easier for me to follow the rules because my siblings would deny me, my parents would deny me. So it became a bit easier for me to stay on track, to study, to follow the rules, if I may say it that way. Yes.
Any moment any moment you look back and you say, this is what I can't forget about my life while in Kanungu? A memorable moment. Maybe you used to carry a jerrycan on your head.
There are many. We used to fetch water from a neighbor's. It was more like a pond, if I put it that way. Then I had my 2 friends. I think they later got married much earlier than me. I remember one moment comes to mind. On the village schools used not to have cemented floors. So Fridays were for smearing cow dung.
I know.
So would end classes earlier. We go get the cow dung from the different farms, then we come smear, and then maybe those are the moments I would
And I
remember.
believe they shaped you to the woman you are today.
Yes, yes, they did.
How did you gather yourself from Kanungu? You work on yourself, and eventually you're here on UBC. You work with a big organization, with a big insurance company. How has that been possible? Not everyone has got such an opportunity.
That's true. I might I can tell you my journey has been because of God's grace. It's been God's grace throughout because again, looking at the schools that I went to, um, it's not been that I was the very best of the best. It's not that I am maybe the worst, but I'm sure I had something in me that was able to make me be seen, and also given the opportunities that I have. But from my personal experience, I've gone through the different things because of God's grace. Because along the way, there've been blessed people that have guided me, that have helped me um, to grow into the person that I've become. Yes.
Can you mention a few people you attribute your success to? Or you're not comfortable sharing them?
There are very many people. So if I mention names now,
Yeah,
you
some will
might
feel like, hey,
find
but even
yeah,
my
those
I
that
brought up.
yes, yes, you find those that will feel offended because maybe they'll not come to mind at the moment. Um, so I prefer not mentioning names, but they've been significant pillars in my life that have helped me, shaped me, built me, supported me for me to reach where I have reached.
When you look at where you are today and where you have come from, what does this teach you? Any lesson?
One is to remain humble, learn from as many people as possible, those that are senior to you, those that are below you, those that are at the same level with you. The other lesson is to maintain your integrity, because I have moved through some of the things that I've moved through because I stayed true to myself. I made sure that my integrity is not compromised. And I can say the third thing is definitely you have to trust that the process, you give the process to God at some point. And for me, I have trusted God throughout everything that I've done. Has been again because of His grace.
Do you attribute your success to God or to men?
It's I'm a very strong believer that all things are possible through Christ who gives me strength. So when I believe that Christ gives me the strength, then He also helps me bless strategic people or significant people in my life. And as long as I keep trusting Him, then everything aligns accordingly.
I know.
Yes.
What's the secret behind your success?
The secrets. I've tried to remain humble. Number two, I always look for growth opportunities, and then also learn as much as possible, regardless of who is teaching me, whether it's the most junior person that has just joined the company or the most senior person. If I get a chance to learn from that person, I use it at all times. I also try to make sure that I look for something different every time. So I have a writing on the wall in the office space where I sit. It has think outside the box, and for some time I kept thinking to myself, maybe this was intentional, that I should not settle for the usual. I should always be looking for something new. If it's meant to be A, how about if you looked at it as Z? Would it make the same sense at the end of the day? Yes. So those are some of the things that I can attribute to my success.
Oh, I love this show very much. I've had, I think, the biggest number of posted here. They are gents. I'm happy that I'm having a lady today, and she's really opening up. You know, you're sharing from your heart. What inspired you to join insurance sector?
I initially wanted to be an electrical engineer.
Really?
So growing up, I used to fix radios, percolators at home, and my father thought I would be an engineer. Along the way, things didn't work out for me in physics, but I had the love for mathematics. I remember it was more or less like a light bulb moment. I asked my father if I can do insurance. So you'd wonder why I asked my father. So my father has a background in insurance broking. He's a director in one of the brokerage firms in the industry. It's called Universal Galaxy. So I remember that day when I told him, how about I do insurance? Like, how hard can it be? He was so annoyed. He said, you die poor, insurance is for broke people. I wouldn't want you to take on the the path in insurance. At that time, the industry was much smaller than it is now. So if I may say, as fate would have it, I didn't make it for the electrical engineering, because
actually many missed it out. Yes.
yes. So when I was choosing a course at campus, I remember the person who was advising me then, I told the person that I want something that has mathematics, not too much English. And he told me that the best course you can do is actuarial science. When I was doing initially when I got the admission, I didn't know what actuarial science would do for me, where it would take me, but luckily it took me in insurance. And because I'd already asked my father about it, I felt like everything that I wanted had been aligned. It had the mathematics I wanted. So when I finished university, so actuarial has the opportunity for you to branch into banking or audit. So that's the path that my family wanted. And I've never told this to my father, but every time he'd give me a chance to go and take my application to, let's say, a bank, I would move around on the Kampala streets and not take the application, while I was trying to look for a placement for myself in insurance. Luckily, the first time I landed myself an interview in a brokerage firm. I'll not mention the name. It's still around. But I guess I gave away too much information, and I mentioned that my father was a director in one of the brokerage firms, so they didn't take me.
They got scared.
Yes, they didn't take me because why would they hire me for? Yet I have, let's say, an affiliation with a competitor. So they didn't take me on. So when I told my father that I had secured myself an interview, he was shocked, because at the back of his mind, he knew that I had taken the CVs to the banks and all those things. He was seeing his daughter becoming a banker, yet me, I was just
you had a dream.
Yes, I had different plans. So at the end of that interview, the gentleman that interviewed me gave me some valuable lessons, which I believe I later used for my next interview, which at that point, my father is the one who advised me that he heard of an opening in Jubilee, and he told me to take my papers there. So I went, took my papers. It took them about 2 weeks to call me. So during that time, and I kept praying, and I was like, you know how you pray every morning, God, please let this be the job. And I remember telling myself that even if they give me 300,000, all I need to do is get in there. So they later called me. I went through the interview. They asked me how much I wanted. I asked for 400,000. Later, they gave me an appointment. I think they'd given me 750,000. I was very happy. I was very, very happy, and that's how everything started.
So that's how the journey began.
Yes. That's how.
What are some of the challenges you faced, and how do you overcome them? For the last many years, you've been part of insurance sector.
I think there are two significant challenges that I faced. One, earlier in my journey, while I was trying to build the technical competencies, I had to do professional exams, and those professional exams were theoretical in nature. And like I said, I wanted something that is mathematics. So transitioning from doing just numbers to now writing a whole essay and all those things. So that was a very big challenge
Massive
for me.
then.
Yes, I failed a number of times, but eventually I guess I figured it out, and I managed to go through the professional exams and got the qualification. Then the other significant challenge was transitioning from leading self to now leading teams or leading a team. So there I had to learn how to work through people, understanding that people don't do the work the way you would want them to do it. But again, you don't have to focus on the process of doing the work, you focus on the result. So there, I had to get mentorship along the way. I have significant people that have mentored me and taught me how to come up with different leadership styles, how to apply them depending on the situation. So those are the two main significant challenges that I have faced. Yes.
So, as a lady who has been part of insurance sector for some time,
Yes.
convince someone out there to join insurance. According to your experience, why would really someone join insurance? Why do you feel it's a good deal for anyone out there?
So it's a very interesting question. The first thing that would drive someone to join insurance is the fact that the sector is still very small compared to other service sectors. The penetration is still below 1%. So that means that it gives someone a chance to grow with the industry. So the industry is not yet saturated. We have new entrants. So there are so many growth opportunities. So you get to enter a very young industry and then you grow with it. Also, for someone who loves numbers, it's something that can allow you express yourself, or that apply what you have studied. Then also, insurance is here to change lives, to make sure that you are cushioned in case of significant shocks in your life. You're again cushioned. So you when you join, you become part of the people that are transforming people's lives. So if it's something that would inspire you to be part of, then insurance is the way to go.
Wow, you're a very good marketing manager. So, Madam Sharon, I've heard your story. I've heard you came from Kanunga. I've heard how you joined insurance company, how you've been serving the nation. But how have you served God in the marketplace?
So I'll just use, there's a sermon that they taught at church one Sunday, and the pastor said, you don't have to think that serving God is only when you come to church and you're the pastor, or you're the usher, or you're in the choir. You serve God in the marketplace. The marketplace is where you work. So I always tell myself in the morning, while I'm preparing to leave home, even praying, I'm like, God, we are going to work. So I always tell myself, Sharon, you might be judged by men, by let's say by the outside appearance, but what you need to know is that God looks at you. Exactly. So whatever you do, let's say under the table, in hiding, God knows. So I try as much as possible to make sure that what my work is right with God. My work, the way I do my work, is right with God. And to a great extent, that has helped me not compromise my values. Exactly. Because, in the corporate space, you can easily compromise your values. So because I'm not looking at just validation from man, I also need to be right with God, with what the godly principles call for us to do, how we are called to work in the marketplace. So if I would summarize it that way, that's how I would put it.
Oh, that is so good. Martha, so do you love God?
Oh yes, I do. I actually gave my life to Christ earlier on in my life, in 2003. So yes, I do love.
How has that journey been? Have you found it worth it?
Yes, it is worth it in all shapes and form. Along the way, sometimes you get shocks in life, but again, when you know that you have someone you can lean on, someone who's above everything else, then again you are anchored. So it's been worth it. I can't regret making that decision then.
Bless the Lord for that.
Amen.
What are some of the things the Lord has done for you that you feel has been such a darling to you?
There are so many.
Just a few years.
So even the life that I have it's just a gift. So he's blessed me with the family. Blessed
Wow,
me
you're
with,
married. Wow.
yeah, so he's blessed me the family with children, and again, the growth that I have had in my personal journey has been because of God's grace and mercy. Not because I am too good, like I mentioned before, but because there's just grace that has been placed on my life. So the growth that I've had for me to be able to reach where I am, let's say at my age, you said earlier on that I'm
Yes.
young.
You look young,
but
I think I'm right.
I don't know, maybe you are. So again, that is all God. That is all God.
You're very lucky.
Yes. So we put in the work and he blesses the works of our hand.
It's at your age, you're married, at your age, you're having a big position. Like God has loved you.
Amen.
More than I think you can even imagine. And
yes,
I believe you're a
true.
favored woman of God. So
That's
as we
true.
get close to the end of this show, as a young lady out there serving the nation, serving God, where do you see yourself in the next maybe 5 years to 10 years?
That's a very big question. So I want to be in a position of influence. In a position where I can inspire, empower, and grow young women out there to grow fast. Okay, to grow in the career that I've taken, and also see them like come out, maybe take also different positions of leadership. The next 15 years, I've not thought about it. Maybe by that time I might have retired. Who knows? Yes. So but the most important thing for me is to be able to empower and inspire the young generation so that they're able to grow in the career path that I've taken.
That's how you feel you're intending to spend the rest of your active years.
Yes.
That is so amazing. If today one was to wind the clock, what's that one thing you do better?
That's a tough one. That's a very tough question. You know why? Because for every challenge I've faced, I always tell myself, that's a learning curve. Again, I don't want to go back and change the things that have happened because they've shaped me to become the person that I've been. I would choose my life over and over again.
Wow, yes. I love that. So you believe the mistakes you've made along the way were a learning ground for you?
Yes, a learning curve, yeah.
So you don't have a regret in your life that you say, maybe I went into marriage at a younger age. Maybe, maybe I would have become an engineer. You feel like in your heart you're contented.
Yes, I am. I don't regret not taking the electrical engineering course because I ended up doing the mathematics, which is very interesting. I still do and love. I don't regret getting married young because again,
you survived the good.
So again, everything that I think was challenging for me or a mistake was actually a learning curve for me to be what I am now and be where I am. So I wouldn't change anything.
That is so beautiful. Madam Sharon, you're still a young lady, but there are facts that we cannot deal without. One of them is one day we shall leave this world.
That's true.
When you've done all this, you've served the insurance sector, you've been such a great woman, you've produced children, you've raised them, you've lived a life. What a celebration. How would you want this world to remember you someday?
You know, when you ask how I would want the world to remember me, you make me think that I need to start writing my will. But
You had better start.
So I would want to be remembered for my integrity.
Integrity.
Yes, for always choosing to do the right thing, even when everybody else is calling you to do something wrong. Yes, that would be very, very, very key to me.
Integrity is very big. And I see if I was call one of your workmates, they really proudly say that you kept the integrity.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. They would.
Good. Wow, it's such amazing. You can give us your few remarks and we'll call it a day.
First, thank you so much for having me here. And for the young ladies out there, insurance is the go-to place for if you're looking at growing your career, looking for something that would not become boring with time. Insurance is the go-to place. The industry is still young. You get to grow, you get to learn from the mistakes, and you still be able to grow the industry as it grows. So all you need to do the moment you join is you develop the technical competencies, because that becomes your foundation for the other growth that you later attain. Integrity is very key because it keeps you on the right path. And of course, you need to get a support system. The support system are the different mentors that you get to meet along the way. Those help you again, ground you when you need support in terms of growth in other areas that are not technical. They get to guide you and ground you. And also, we are still very few ladies in the industry that are in positions of influence. It would be a great thing to have so many of us out there changing the industry. So that's what I would tell the viewers.
Thank you so much. You can send greetings to some of your friends, maybe your boss, your workmates, your family.
Okay, so I'm sending greetings to the ICA Lion Life family. They make it worth working with them every day. Of course, to my husband, my children, and then my family, my parents, the Berettas.
Berettas. Yeah. I want to be part of the Berettas. Thank you so much, Madam Sharon. It's been a pleasure having you on UBC TV, U24 TV. Thank you for sharing your life. But I've also learned from your story that it's possible to be in the marketplace, you're excelling, and also you're serving God.
Yeah.
People think that everyone has to go in the pulpit. No, you can still excel. Like now, such insurance company, you're saving lives.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel that is ministry. So that's why I felt this show was very significant. And I believe someone has picked one or two things from the show. I have been Jima Kanshemeza, your host. Big shouts to Godwin and the entire team that I work with. We love you so much. It's been Holy Drive Show. Thank you for always watching. Share the link, share the show. All people that you feel can be impacted. We love you until next time. Shalom, shalom.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped.